Hi guys, Amy Starr Allen here. And in the tradition of Thanksgiving, I wanted to create my annual gratitude video for you. And in this video, what I'm going to do, it's a little bit different than some of the last couple years where I've given you a list of all of the things I'm grateful for. I'm going to go into three steps, three different ways that you can practice gratitude on a daily basis that will help you create more prosperity in your life. Because, Thanksgiving is a great time where we focus on gratitude, and that's awesome. And for some people, that's the only time that they really even think about what they're grateful for. So my recommendation is that you start to practice gratitude on a daily basis if you're not doing that already, because gratitude is a powerful, powerful tool that will help you create more abundance and prosperity in your life, and it'll just help you be happier in general if you're practicing it on a daily basis. And so some people say, well, so how do I do that? What can I do to get in the habit of practicing gratitude on a daily basis? So in this video, I just want to share with you a few things that I personally do, myself and my two girls, on a daily basis that helps us stay in the gratitude, focused on gratitude as we go throughout our days. So the first thing that you can do, this is something that we do, and it's actually an awesome, awesome practice. What we do is when we sit down for dinner at night, when we sit down at the table before we eat, we go around and each person says what they're grateful for the day. And so you don't want to get in the habit of saying just the same things over and over. I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my friends. We like to be specific about some things that happen throughout the course of that day that you can be grateful for. So we go around the table, and my kids are 8 and 5, so even my little 5-year-old she'll just say the cutest things about, something that happened at school. I'm grateful for my teacher because she helped me learn how to read today, or whatever, something like that. But it helps, not only does it help us reflect on the day and find things to be grateful for, but what it does is when you start doing it on a daily basis, it starts to help us go through our days looking for things to be grateful for, so that we have something, because we're always thinking about what are we going to say when we sit down at the table at night. So as we go through our day, we're noticing things that we can be grateful for, so that we can bring those things up when we sit down at the table at night. And this is just a really great practice, not only because it helps us stay focused on gratitude throughout the day, helps us stay focused on gratitude when we sit down for dinner, but it's also just a great way to come together as a family before we eat our meal at night. Some people say grace, or some people just kind of don't do anything. And this is just a great way to, we all sit down, we make sure everybody's settled before we start eating. And it's just a really nice practice that kind of brings us together at the end of the day when we sit down for our meal. So this is one great way that you can practice gratitude. Another one is when something bad happens, a problem comes up, a situation. Another thing, that we do on a regular basis, and this is something that I've taught my kids, is when something bad happens, think about in that moment, what can I be grateful for about this situation or in relation to the situation? Because there's always something that we can find to be grateful for. In other words, like if you just got in a car accident and you're alive, you can be grateful that it wasn't worse. You know what I mean? Because things can always be worse. I'll give you an example about how my kids kind of apply this. My daughter recently, we had an issue with a neighbor who was blaming my kids for something, and she was yelling at them. And my little 5-year-old was really, really upset. And so I did that exact thing. I said, what can you be grateful for right now? And she just said, I'm just really grateful that, I'm not going to mention any names here, but I'm really grateful that so-and-so's mother isn't my mother. There you go. So although this lady was mean to her, she doesn't have to deal with that on a daily basis because she's not her mother. So there's always I know that's kind of a funny example, but that's how my 5-year-old thinks. But it's great because no matter what, like in that instant when she said that, she was over it. She was done crying and she was able to move on with the day. And so it's just a really powerful tool to be able to go to gratitude no matter what's going on. Be grateful for something. Find something in the situation to be grateful for. And it doesn't matter how big of a deal it is. Like sometimes it takes a while to get to that place of gratitude. Another example I can give you around this is my mother was killed in a car accident, which was completely devastating for me. Rocked my world. It was my car. I blamed myself. And in hindsight, I try to find the good in everything. So what I'm grateful for is I now have an amazing relationship with my father that did not exist when my mother was alive. When my mother was alive, I barely talked to my father, and now he's like my best friend. And so I just look at like the bigger picture, like the universe has a divine plan, and part of the plan was for me to get to know my father. And that's the way I look at it, and it helps me be at peace with it. And so you can apply that to anything, no matter how tragic or traumatic it is. So that's the second tool. And then the third thing that I like to do on a daily basis is before I go to sleep at night, I have a gratitude journal, just a notebook or a journal, or I like to find something that feels really good to me, a special book, because I'm going to keep it forever. Once it's filled, I start a new one, but it's a gratitude journal. So what I like to do is before I go to bed at night, I write down 3 things from the day that I'm grateful for. And this doesn't have to be like a long drawn out process where you're writing like paragraphs of stuff. It's just right before I go to bed, find 3 things about that particular day that I'm grateful for, and write them down. And then what happens is when you go to sleep, you do this right before you go to sleep, and then when you go to sleep, it gives your subconscious mind, it like marinates in gratitude while you're sleeping at night. And it's a really, really powerful way to create more gratitude in your life and to be happier in general, because you're going to bed on a good, grateful, appreciative note rather than thinking about things that didn't go so well that day. So that's a powerful tool as well. And here's the thing, and I know this sounds woo-woo, and I don't always understand the way things work in the universe, but I just know that they do. My experience has been, and not just my experience, I know other people whose experience has been, that the more we practice gratitude, the more the universe gives us things to be grateful for. So not only is it a powerful tool to help you stay happy and healthy, it's good for your health as well. But it's also a really good way to continue to allow the universe to give you things to be grateful for. Because if you're not grateful for the small things, if you're not grateful for the accomplishments, or even just the little small things that happen throughout your day, the universe just doesn't, they're like, well, they're not appreciative, so I'd rather provide more abundance and prosperity for the people who are, kind of thing. I don't know exactly how that works. I just know that the more I practice gratitude, the more abundance and prosperity shows up in my life, and I know that's been true for others as well. So I hope these tips have been helpful, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you for, wherever you're seeing this video, thank you for being on my email list. Thank you for coming to my website. Thank you for hanging out on my YouTube channel. Wherever you're seeing this video, I just want to say thank you very much to you. As a subscriber of mine, I'm grateful for you, and I hope you have the most fabulous Thanksgiving ever, and I will be looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.